Hey everybody, this is Amazing Fantasy Football. I am Josh, and over there is the Velma to my Daphne.
Whoa, is that? Yeah, Scooby-Doo. I almost
Yeah.
said Flintstones. Hey, I got one right. 80s
Scooby-Doo.
cartoons. There, well, 80s.
Scooby-Doo.
You think
Anyways.
you think Scooby-Doo has maybe the most iterations? Because I feel like there's always been a different series for decades.
It probably doesn't have the most, but it's got a lot.
Up there.
I mean, there's a pup named Scooby-Doo, 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, What's New Scooby-Doo, What's
Original.
What's Up Scooby-Doo, Where Are You Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?
I'm
Hey,
sorry. There's a Where Are You
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo and a Scooby-Doo Where Are You?
No, I missaid the first one.
Cool. Got it. That's the one I grew
There's
up on.
just Scooby-Doo. There's Scoob, the newest movie. There's probably more that I don't know of, nor do I freaking
And
care
that's
about.
not even to
If
mention,
it's
well, no, you did mention a couple movies. Yeah.
if it's not Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? And if it's not 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, I don't give a flying rat's ass.
And if folks can tell at home that we like a superhero / comic book motif, one of my favorite parts about Scooby-Doo, and I will say The Electric Company, a completely unrelated show, was the fact that...
Oh, the new Scooby-Doo movies.
There you go. Is the fact that in Scooby... I believe the original, or one of the originals, Where Are You, Scooby-Doo, or Scooby-Doo, Where Are You, whatever it's called, they often had Batman and Robin.
That's the new movies of Scooby-Doo.
Oh, there's
2 episodes with Batman and Robin. There's one with the Harlem Globetrotters. There's
there you go. Guest stars.
Mama Cass is in one, I think.
From the oh god, I forgot the band. Josh.
No, she
Mamas
was a
and
comedian.
Papas?
No, she was a comedian.
Okay.
She died eating a sandwich.
Good lord. All right, so on to happier times.
It was a bit in Austin Powers, man. The original Austin Powers, the first two Austin Powers.
Oh my god, dropped the ball on that one.
And he's going through all the celebrities that are dead. He's like, Mama Cass, sandwich, which I thought was a joke at the time, but then later found out.
That's literally.
Oh no! She actually died eating a sandwich. She choked on it and died.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
Where's your laughs now, Chris? Nowhere. Anyways, so we're Amazing Fantasy Football.
Is the confusing part to me. Okay, we are Amazing Fantasy Football.
And we're here to talk about some tight end diamonds in the rough. That would be tight ends that are not... I went outside the top 15 because it gets nasty early, tight end.
That's a good way to put it.
Nasty. And not in the you're nasty sort of way. It's the, that's disgusting.
I'm right in that same ballpark. 15 and down, if you will. Up, down.
Yeah.
Even though the number.
Anyways,
is up.
Chris, I believe you got some news for us. Some news.
I do. Let's chase to the cut.
That's not how that goes.
All right, let's not bury the lead here. Deshaun Watson has been suspended for 11 games and is fined $5 million per. This is in lieu of the.
Is this the definitive suspension then?
Yeah, I think this is done. Because if y'all don't recall, Watson was already like, okay, I'll do 8.
Six.
No, that's what the arbiter put down on the table, and then Watson's camp and himself said, okay, if you really want to try to go for the whole season, I'll do 8, and then we come down here with 11 eventually. So there was some back and forth.
Okay.
Is all I'm getting at.
The arbiter originally said 6. He said, "Fine, if you want to go for the whole season, maybe let's do 8 instead." And then they came through with the
final,
the appeal, the NFL appeal.
Nailed it. Somebody has the wrong lower thirds on. How dare you, Christopher? I'm sorry, Josh. Onward. On to some more quarterback news. Zach Wilson's arthroscopic knee surgery was deemed a success.
Slashing success.
Yes, it's slashing success. Sources tell ESPN. There were no surprises from the original diagnosis. They won't put him on the field until he's 100%, but good news for the #Jets. My understanding... I'm sorry. On to some RB news. Kenneth Walker, running back for the Seattle Seahawks, underwent surgery to repair a hernia, not what is sometimes called a sports hernia. Quotes, a core muscle injury, and he's expected to make a full recovery. The plan is for him to be out there week 1 if all goes well. Carroll himself is quoted saying as much, but I mean, this hurts a little. Not like, I mean, obviously, literally, physically for the man himself, but for fantasy managers. So keep an eye on that, as we will. On to some, what is this? The quarterback, probably, QB news. Buccaneers head coach Todd Bowles was non-committal today on Tom Brady's return. I've been seeing this steady flow of news here. This might qualify as fluff in Josh's category, but we need to keep an eye on this. No, we need to make any moves with any fantasy pieces or Brady himself. Go ahead, Josh.
There was some speculation that him and Giselle are getting divorced.
Oh, I have not heard. I have not.
And that's what's going on with that. It popped up in my news feed, and I'm just like, I don't care. Yeah.
All signs still point to him being the starting quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers week 1 and onward. Dennis? Yes, Dennis Allen, Michael Thomas, the head coach for the Saints, says Michael Thomas going to be ready for the season. So, just worth mentioning.
I think so. He's moving up my rankings.
I mean, go back a few weeks. I'm sure we mentioned something about him avoiding the pup. Don't like him.
I'm sorry, you don't like him. Sorry.
I'm still a little low on him for sure. And will that come up later? It's not my notes, but maybe I'll give a little 2 cents on it later with someone we're talking about. Onward with some more receiver news. Head coach Andy Reid told reporters that wide receiver Mecole Hardman, who was carted off Tuesday, is dealing with a groin spasm.
Ow.
The injury is not considered serious and he could be fine. Crisis averted. I mean,
if I'm having a spasm in my groin, that sounds pretty serious to me.
Couldn't agree more. As it relates to fantasy, which of course we're a fantasy show, I don't think we're making any moving any needles with this news, but he does play for the high octane offense and he is a receiver in the NFL. I thought it was important to include. More receiver news. Michael Gallup, ACL injury to remind folks, was running routes on Thursday. On to some RBs.
Was it like a paper route?
Definitely. No. NFL passing route. I think if I saw another offhand Twitter quote.
Wait, he was passing the ball?
No, he was catching the ball. If I saw another offhand Twitter quote, it was like at the end of the kind of when all the other players were finished at practice. He was out there with a trainer, probably a position coach, running routes. It's a good sign. But hey, man, we've already said our 2 cents about Mr. Gallup in the first couple weeks of the season. On to some RB news. Antonio Gibson was practicing with the Washington punt team. So there's that. I did also hear, I don't have a quote or a tweet or anything to back it up, but I remember also hearing that I think the next day he was back with the ones. Just a little bit of smoke for that worrisome fire there in Washington. It looks more and more likely that Saints running back Alvin Kamara will not be. What? I completely read that quote wrong previously, folks. This says will be disciplined. I'm getting the exact opposite impression from the rumor mill. I
don't think it's going to happen this year.
Okay, I'm sorry. That seems misquoted. Sean McVay for the Rams says Akers and Darrell Henderson are both have soft tissue injuries. A later report in the week said a Cam Akers injury not considered serious. For what it's worth, more RBs.
Fire.
Yeah. Again, going back to the smoke issue there. More RBs. Melvin Gordon, foot injury, returns to full practice Monday. That's good news. Ramondre Stevenson practicing in the, quote, James White role. Reminder, folks, James White retired. I have to pump the brakes on my hype train. It's in my brain, it's getting out of control. I haven't done any drafts yet. But anyway, let's continue. A little more RB news. Miles Sanders was sidelined with a hamstring injury. Moving on. Chiefs wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster didn't practice Tuesday due to a sore knee. I don't have a later week update for that. My apologies. Darren Waller was back at practice Wednesday for the Raiders. Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell told reporters today that tight end Irv Smith, this is irrelevant to our show, tight end Irv Smith, who underwent thumb surgery earlier this summer, is on track to play week 1. So a little bit of good news there for our tight end.
Didn't he go down with an ACL last year too?
That doesn't sound right, but I could be off base. I could be off base. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure.
Go ahead.
I'm done. That's the news.
Wait, what? You were not giving me time to look up his injury.
That's okay. I could start with my first guy.
Okay.
Reminder, folks, we are working with a half-point PPR format when it comes to ADP. We're using Fantasy Pros. The approach to this, as Josh kind of touched on earlier, is kind of a dart throw, late round gem, diamond in the rough, where we're looking for some value for if you want to go and punt tight end. Heck, if you want to go last round. Heck, if you want to sign an injured guy to another position, move him to IR and pick up one of these guys free and clear on the waivers before week 1. That's kind of what we're dealing with today. I'm going to start at kind of the top, at least for my 3 guys, in terms of ADP, and go Robert Tonyan. He is ADP 180 / the 15th round, almost free. He is the tight end 18 in ADP.
I don't have that, but that's okay.
I did do half point this time.
I did my notes like on Sunday, so it could have changed.
Oh, okay. The obvious tout here is Davante Adams, 169 vacated targets. The other easy low-hanging fruit here is that Tonyan had an injury-riddled 2021. He only played 8 games. But may I remind you, in 2020, he had 11 receiving touchdowns and an insane 88% catch rate. The yardage was pretty low, to be fair, at 586. But I would argue a couple things. He didn't break out right away that season, if I recall. And he could be used more, quote, between the 20s now that, Davante Adams has gone, thereby racking up more yardage, thereby racking up a higher average. But that's really the long and short of it for Tonyan. Again, practically free. We'll talk about some other guys today that are literally free in your drafts. But I just think it's insane that he's being dismissed in a situation where there's been 169 targets walk out the door. Nice. Probably more. I didn't even look for other players.
That's about right.
Cobb is staying, so that I was like, nah, we're just going to focus on Adams. And again, what Tonyan proved he could do in 2020. It's not a slam dunk, but it's a really great value there in terms of price.
Okay.
That's right.
And that was a big old no-brainer for a guess by Josh that Chris was going to do Robert Tonyan. His man crush. His Green Bay Packers man crush, Robert Tonyan. Anyways, like I said earlier, just to reiterate, you said you did a nice job explaining the scoring format we use, but once again, I was shooting for tight ends after tight end 15 because
mine
it's
ended
ugly.
Up there. Yeah, because
it's ugly.
My highest one is that guy, 18.
And what's weird is so if you go by overall in the overall column for tight ends, so like Noah Fant is number 16, but he's 175. Evan Ingram's 184 at 17. Robert Tonyan's 180.
That's what
18. But then David Njoku, who we're going to talk about in a second, is 177 at tight end 20. What? I don't get it. Anyways, I noticed this when I was doing
and that's looking directly at the website, to be clear.
I'm not reading off the website.
That's frustrating. We're only missing by a half a spot here and there, folks. Don't worry about it. We're in the right ballpark. Seriously, I mean,
math sucks.
And the listeners and watchers are going to be drafting on different websites. It's going to be a little off.
Yeah.
ADP is also.
Anyways, let's keep going. My first guy is Noah Fant. He is going off the board, as I said, at tight end 16, or at 169 overall. Nice. It's 170. Sorry, it's 175 now. I'm not going to redo that math. At 169 was the 1401. Anyways, go Hawks for Noah Fant. He was an Iowa Hawkeye alum. Fant has been the tight end 12 the last 2 seasons. He may have a new home in the Pacific Northwest. But weirdly enough, he still has the same quarterback as he did last year in Drew Lock. Yes, that means I fully expect Drew Lock to beat out Geno Smith as the QB1 in Seattle. It's from everything that I've read is that Drew Lock is playing better than Geno Smith.
He looked better for whatever it's worth. Week 1 preseason, or week 2 technically. He looked better than Geno. But hey, man, I'm a little worried. Go ahead, please.
I'm a little worried that Pete Carroll doesn't know what the hell he's doing up there.
We always.
Fant, he's been dinged up over what seems like most of his career. He played in 16 games in his rookie season, but then in 2020, he missed a game with, I believe it was an ankle sprain, and he just wasn't himself the rest of the year. And Fant is currently listed as a tight end 1, and according to ESPN.com, he will have some tight end targets siphoned away by Will Dissly, who's more of a blocking tight end. But Pete Carroll has shown that he does rotate tight ends in and out, even last year when Gerald Everett was there. A guy who I liked last year in Seattle, and if you like last year, before going into the season, if you were to take all those tight ends that Seattle had and mash them together, they were like the number 7 overall tight end. So I was like really high on Gerald Everett last year, and maybe this year too. But Noah Fant, though, he's more of a receiving tight end than anything else. He doesn't block well, so he might be in and out of the game or whatever. I just think that, if you're looking for a guy in the backwaters of your draft, Noah Fant, he's got all the athletic talent, the OJ Howards that we were talking about before we started the show.
Absolutely. Yeah. Similarly built, a similar size speed specimen for sure.
Yeah. And that's all I got on Noah Fant. I mean, we're throwing darts here. You could get worse.
We're throwing literal? No, definitely. Nope. Figurative tight end darts at the end of your draft, folks. Or again, may I remind you, a couple of these next guys are going to be free. While we're on the subject of Seattle Rams, anyway, targets that are in a familiar spot. Anyway, Gerald Everett is what I'm trying to say, Josh. That's my next guy. As it relates.
You bastard! That's my last guy.
Oh, is it your last guy? Okay, well let's do this then. All right, ADP of 201. That averages out to the 16.7 pick. Again, borderline. Where you're taking your kicker, the last pick of the draft in most home leagues.
Yeah, he's gone down.
Okay, tight end 23 in ADP. Let's talk about where he's at this season, 2022. The Chargers and their much hyped, very deservedly so, quarterback.
Get on with it.
Herbie has targeted tight ends at a top 8 rate in his first 2 seasons. Everett is the tight end 23 in ADP, despite finishing as in top 20 last year in Seattle's slowed down run-based offense. For some context there, pass attempts for Seattle last year, 31st in the league. Chargers, 3rd. Herbie's two starting tight ends over his 2-year career, Hunter Henry and Jared Cook, respectively, in order. 2020, Hunter Henry was 10th fantasy finish, 93 targets in 14 games. 2021, Jared Cook was 15th fantasy finish, 83 targets in 16 games. I think I know Everett's better than Jared Cook. I'm pretty sure he can probably be on par with a Hunter Henry. Henry had a pretty good year last year with Patriots. But that's the long and short of it for Gerald Everett for me, is that he's an incredible value and a guy that's shown a little bit. He had to share some time with Higbee going back a couple years ago with the Rams, but I love the value. If you're going to punt on tight end there.
Mm-hmm. So this is what I came up with for Mr. Gerald Everett, besides all the stuff that I said about going to Seattle last year and all that earlier. Gerald Everett, if you take the the Chargers tight ends and mash them all into one in 2020, they were the number 3 overall tight end. If you make them into one, the same thing would have been true last year as well. They rotated tight ends in and out. That's probably going to happen again this year. Now, I'm not going to say that Gerald Everett is going to be the tight end 3 this year. Not what I'm saying. What I am saying, though, is because I do believe Donald Parham, hopefully he comes back to health.
I forgot to mention that. Dude, he just popped up with he's had hamstring injury for like 3 weeks now. He's still day-to-day.
He's also getting over a spinal injury too, man. Or a neck injury.
Well, the hamstring is lingering, and we're getting hamstrings are getting close to week 1 hamstrings. Go ahead.
Right. But even then, the Chargers going to rotate in and out tight ends a little bit. Mainly they use one guy, but they do use other guys. Herbie has targeted other guys in the past other than his primary guy. But I'm just saying and I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying that Gerald Everett's going to be the tight end 3. But I mean, if Donald Parham's not going to be on the field, they don't really have anyone else of note that I know of. I looked at him and I don't even know who that guy is, which is kind of saying something. I just like Gerald Everett is probably not a top 3 tight end talent, but what if he's, a mid to low end tight end 1, That's maybe he's not going to be an every week starter for you, but if you need him in spot starts and whatever, and he ends up averaging, has a big game, poor game, big game, poor game, you're probably going to end out on top anyways.
That's the tight end landscape, folks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this is a guy that you're getting more or less for free.
Upside, man. Great upside. Love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, I could easily see in week 1 where all of a sudden Gerald Everett scores like 14 fantasy points and it wasn't based on a touchdown,
For sure. I think it's funny that we both included him. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
What's your next guy? What's your last guy?
My last guy.
Oh, I know who it is.
Of course you know who it is. Adam Troutman.
Troutman!
It looks more like Troutman, but it because it has an A.
It's Trout.
I know, it's Troutman. Anyway, ADP 311. That's the 9th pick of the 25th round. Tight end 31. Completely and totally free. Let's see here. Troutman's second season last year, 2021. Couldn't have gone much worse. These are some quotes from a draftsharks.com injury history. I thought they were very poignant, and they're just pull-up.
You didn't want to quote yourself on how much you loved Troutman last year?
Oh, we'll get to that. I mean, loved him in Dynasty. I didn't invest anything in redraft. But
I believe you owe me a Snickers ice cream bar for that Cole Kmet versus Adam Troutman bet.
Yep, that was more the crux of it. Was we had a bet on it. Anyway, Troutman's second season couldn't have gone much worse, starting with a pair of medical setbacks. First came a pylondial cyst that required surgery. This is going in the order of the 20... up? No, I didn't. It's from the article. This is going 2021 off season, so time moving forward. The cyst that required surgery, pausing his training for about a month. Just as he was about to return, Troutman developed an appendicitis that required another operation and cost him another 3 weeks. It was like he's quoted as saying, Troutman himself is quoted as saying, it's like a 7-week span where I couldn't do anything. An August ankle sprain, again, off-season, folks, August ankle sprain cost him the final few weeks of preseason training and helped slow his start to the regular season. And then in season, a November MCL sprain cost him 3 games. Troutman would miss a 4th with a positive COVID test. He said none of last year's physical issues have carried forward.
Chris,
this is going to end up being the first full offseason he's ever had in his 3-year career.
It kind of sounds like he doesn't want to actually play football.
That's not what I would say or garner from that information. The last thing I have from that article is tight ends coach Dan Rauschar calls Troutman one of the better blocking tight ends in the league. Now, this is his position coach on his own team. Let's be clear. And he didn't grade out quite so well. It was more like 15th in PFF blocking ranking, if memory serves. But that will obviously help Troutman get onto the field. Despite all that, with the offseason stuff and then the in-season injury, he still finished 15th in snap share in 2021 amongst tight ends, 51.9%. His blocking has and will keep him on the field, as I just mentioned a moment ago. And may I remind folks at home that Troutman has only played the position for about 6 years prior. This would be his 6th playing the position because he was a high school quarterback, had to redshirt as he changed position. He still got in some playing time his freshman year. He ended his career with 171 receptions, 2,295 receiving yards, and 31 receiving touchdowns. Here's the tight ends behind him on the depth chart. Taysom Hill, the positionless prodigal son. Seriously, the only reason he is around is his ridiculous contract and the fact that he was Sean Payton's favorite toy. Nick Vinnette behind him, a 6-year vet who has played for 5 teams in his 6-year career. This will be a 6-year. Has never caught more than 30 passes in his career in one season. Juwan Johnson, a converted wide receiver who couldn't overcome a hurt Troutman last year. Now, they did sign Chris Herndon, so, whoa, watch out.
Hey!
Exactly. So the point is, they love him blocking. They love him being the starter. He has practically nothing behind him. The last little bullet point I have here is playerprofiler.com has his closest comparable player as Dallas Goedert. So, hey, again, free upside, folks. Free upside. Dallas Goedert, his
I
closest
don't know who that
comparable
is.
player. You don't know who Dallas Goedert is?
Nope.
A lie.
That is a lie.
So who's your last guy, Josh?
My last guy is David Chief Njoku. Chris, I'm not sure you don't agree with me on this one, but I have a funny feeling about Chief Njoku here. Do you know why I'm calling him that nickname?
Because that's his nickname. I don't know why.
Well, it was his nickname for like the longest time because his father or his grandfather was the chief of their tribe in Africa, if memory serves correct.
Good point.
And then he recently went to Africa to visit that, and they made him honorary chief of the tribe.
Oh, nice. Silly me was thinking Native American. Does he have some? There's chiefs everywhere.
I prefer First Nation, but okay. In 2018, Chief Njoku was the tight end 9. You know what else happened in 2018? Jacoby Brissett made Eric Ebron the tight end 4. Why do I mention Jacoby Brissett? Well, Chris, I believe you mentioned that at the time that I wrote this, Deshaun Watson was suspended for the first 6 games. Now it's the first 11 games.
11.
Yes, and Jacoby Brissett is the backup to Deshaun Watson. Baker trade doesn't look so good now, does it, Browns?
Hey, Jimmy G's still out there.
I don't think they're going to do it. I think that I think this was the plan all along, and they're going to stick to this plan.
I think they're, I don't want to say punting on 2022, but I think they understood they wouldn't have Watson a significant amount of time.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, so perhaps, our viewers, listeners, maybe even you, Chris, are worried about the other tight ends on the Cleveland roster. Well, rightfully so. Austin Hooper, he's gone. He's gone. Austin Hooper's gone. The Browns let him walk in free agency. And then third-year tight end Harrison Bryant, who hasn't really done a whole lot to talk about to this point in his career, other than that random game last year where I called him being fantasy relevant.
I was going to say, other than a limited amount of fantasy hype. Me included. I
was in on him, but then you start looking at his stats, and it was like more or less that one game.
He'll probably be blocking a lot.
Yeah. So David Njoku, I mean, for a guy who, the time I wrote this was being the tight end 20, and it's still the tight end 20 at 177 or the 1409. So, if you completely punt on tight end, you're just going crazy with those running backs and wide receivers, and grab a quarterback in there somewhere. Oh, maybe you're like me and you don't even draft a quarterback until the very last round.
I would probably take an earliher tight end, to be clear, if that's the case. But hey, bargain basement hunting, man. That's what we're doing.
What other receiving weapons are there for Cleveland other than your boy Amari Cooper? That Donovan Peoples-Jones, he hasn't done a whole lot in his career. Jacoby Brissett doesn't like to throw the ball deep anyways, and that's what Peoples-Jones does. Kareem Hunt out of the backfield. Nick Chubb, I still believe, can catch the ball. They just don't throw the ball to him just to limit his touches.
David,
that's about it.
Anthony Schwartz flashed a couple preseasons ago. He's got speed, but there's nothing there, dude. There's
David Bell. I'm not super inspired.
I skipped over him because,
he's a rookie. Not this year,
Oh, right, gotcha.
Yeah. So, I mean, come on. Would you, and if you were just sitting there rolling the dice on tight end for week 1, and you're just like, David Njoku, why not? Would you rather have David Njoku or who's right below him? Hunter Henry. I know what you're gonna say.
Henry, for sure.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Mac Jones is one of my diamonds in the rough at QB.
David Njoku or Hayden Hurst.
Refresh my memory, where's Hurst now?
He is with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, yeah, he replaced Uzama. I guess Njoku.
Cameron Brate or David Njoku? Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Brate.
Really? Wow. Okay.
There's a little bit of worry that Brate's
how about this?
The starter, because they brought in a rookie, but again, rookie tight ends.
You mean Kyle Rudolph?
Yeah, no, not worried about Rudolph.
Okay.
I think he's a veteran presence in the tight end room. It's literally why they brought him in. It's all he's been.
The old man has arrived.
Yeah, exactly. Love the player. Great red zone threat. He's I'm not worried about it.
Austin Hooper in Tennessee or David Njoku?
Shinjoku. Fine.
Evan Ingram or David Njoku?
Njoku. I mean, I guess Ingram's the starter at Jacksonville, right?
Yep.
That's rough, man.
It's nasty, ain't it?
Yeah, it was a quick answer for a reason.
I know you don't like Evan Ingram. That's all our tight ends. All of our tight ends. We're going to do a mock draft. I would like to take a quick break. I'm out of water and I'm very thirsty tonight.
I could make myself a quick drink in less than 5 minutes for sure, folks.
I was going to say it will not be long.
Yeah, it won't be long. Folks at home, stick around. We're coming back for a mock draft on Sleeper.
But before that, why don't we kick out those non-appointment viewer listeners, and we'll say we have been amazing fantasy football. We're going to be doing some sleeper plugs after now. Okay, let me redo that. We have been amazing fantasy football. Chris, where can they find you on the socials?
I am at AFFB Chris. Hey, on Twitter, on twitter.com.
Yeah,
it's a
good
website,
job, buddy.
folks.
Good job. I think it's an app too. Anyways, you can find me at Josh AFFB. By following us, you can bother us with all your troubles, so you don't have to be troubled with those troubles. And you can just blame us for when, shit hits the fan.
There you go.
Chris, what can they do to help us out here?
Like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Leave us comments. Let us know how we're doing on a weekly basis. We're going into this. Let us know how we're doing.
Yep. Always, you can leave us some constructive criticism, feedback, 5-star ratings wherever possible. 5 stars, bastards. If you're listening to the pod, you can check out the live stream. That's that we're recording every Tuesday or Thursday. Sorry, those both start with T. It starts at 8 p.m. Central Time. We don't know where you live, so you do the math. And until next week, Chris. Good night.
See you later. Good night.
All right, let's take a break. Quick break.
Reminder, folks, we're still streaming. We'll be back with probably a couple of mock drafts. We're going to take a quick break. BRB. Somewhere's the scene on the button. Somewhere, Josh. There it is. Welcome back, folks. I'm sorry. Oh, it's too much fun. Sorry. All right, there's a draft somewhere happening.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high.
Okay, I'm in.
Once
You've
in
already
a
claimed
lullaby.
your spot. Here, let's get to the proper screen here, Christopher. Let's see if it remembers what display 1 is.
Yeah.
OBS likes to just be like, oh, you mean which display is display 1 again? Not display 1? Okay, whatever.
Okay.
Not
In this draft, I have selected somewhere in the middle, and I'm going to be going quarterback early. That is my strategy.
Did you? I just read it a minute ago. Now I forgot what it said. Did you think we should both try that? Go back.
Yeah.
Go quarterback a little early. Thank you. I'm not going to do the 101 for that reason. I would hate to take a QB at 101.
There's a reason for this, folks.
Go
I'm not taking a quarterback in the first round. Let's be clear with that.
Good point. Good point. Good point. You did say it. We both said early. How about I go right after you? Think we've done
Fine,
that
whatever.
yet? Have we done that yet?
Ride my coattails, as always.
I would claim the opposite, actually, but hey, whatever.
Okay, whatever. Hey, first off, you're not fancy enough to be wearing a coat with tails. Secondly, there is no way your skinny ass could be hauling my fat ass around if I was riding on your coattails.
Your words, not mine. All right.
Yeah, I know. Are we ready?
Here. I'm ready. Yeah.
All right, starting in 5, 4, 3, 2. So how you doing tonight, Chris? You doing all right?
Pretty
1.
good.
And
prizes at the top. Taylor, Henry, McCaffrey, Eckler. Straight RBs. It's a little surprising.
Because I know I'm going
QB,
QB early. I'm
You're
going
gonna
to take Dalvin Cook,
Gotcha.
who I actually have over Derrick Henry and Austin Eckler in my ranks. I think.
Yep. I am eyeballing both, but not both. Either receiver or running back.
Dalvin Cook is my 103. He's my RB2 right now.
I think I'm going to sew up the RB here with Najee Harris. He's ranked highest in there with sleeper, but also kind of warming up to the QB situation there in Pittsburgh. Really, whether it's I don't think it's gonna be, I don't think
suckers born every minute.
I don't think it's going to be what's his name, Mason something. Can't remember.
Mason Rudolph.
Thank you. I don't think it's going to be him. I think
it's not. It's going to be Bitch Trubisky.
Yeah, I think Pickett's going to take over before the season's over. Anyway,
I don't care about that. I know who's going to start, and that's going to be Mr. Trubisky.
Give wide receiver a really fair shake here because there's depth, though. There's depth, but it's getting a little thin. Y'all can't see because my face is in the way. But, such as... There you go. I'll just leave. Minute and a half-ish. Fonte's there, but I'm really high on Aaron Jones this year. Yeah, I think I'm going to rely on some wide receiver depth to fall into my lap, as it were. I'm going to go RB with Aaron Jones and Najee Harris, two of my favorites.
You jerk. I'm going to take Saquon then. I was looking at Aaron Jones, and I was like, he's probably going to take him, but just in case, Saquon Barkley, who
Definitely
is my... what is that, like RB8 so far? I'm
rising on him.
He's at my 112 right now in my ranks, right ahead of Aaron Jones actually. And I'm on the clock now. No quarterbacks have gone, so that means I have. Wait a minute, Josh Allen went. But that means I can have Patrick Mahomes.
Oh wow!
And I'm going to take Patrick Mahomes because he's still Patrick Mahomes, and he's still got Travis Kelce. He's got some good talent around him, but maybe not Tyreek Hill talent, but still good talent.
I am going really leaning hard receiver right here because I went RB. I also have a quarterback. He won't make it around to me, will he? That's okay. There's still great. Oh wow, yeah, that's strongly good.
You can wait around and see if there's another quarterback that you
As
like
much
there.
as I love the guy, I can't put Higgins in front of Mike Evans. I'm taking Mike Evans.
Yeah, dude, I'm so high on Mike Evans. Like he's the poster child of reliability.
Reliability.
You know.
Well said.
And honestly, as my wide receiver one, are his numbers. He's probably going to have a couple of down games, but his numbers aren't going to probably be like uber sexy every week in and week out. But that's fine. Like I want some reliability as my wide receiver one. You know, like Mike Evans is currently he's really high in my ranks.
Top 5 or at 5? Maybe would be my guess.
He's my 203. He is my 1, 2, 3, number 4 wide receiver. Number 5.
I was close.
4.
I was close. Yep, I figured in that ballpark.
Just that reliability is just you can't ignore it, man.
Sure.
That come with touchdowns too.
Coming back to the mock, so Josh doesn't distract me any longer. Kidding. The quarterback I wanted made around me. One of the reasons I hesitated on Evans with Higgins was I kind of wanted to do a little, not handcuff. What's it called, Josh? Stack. I went to stack him with Burrow. Well, anyway, Burrow did make it back around to me, so I'm going to take him right here, right now.
Really?
Yeah. Because, again, to remind folks at home, we're going quarterback early, which is not usually our motif. But here we go.
I'd have gone Lamar Jackson, but that's just me.
Despite some worry about statistical regression from Burrow, that was a pretty damn good season last year.
I'm really not in love with any of the wide receivers here. And as I've discovered in previous mock drafts, I kind of hit this point with wide receiver. Like if I take wide receiver early, where I'm just like in the middle rounds, I'm like, man, I wish I would have gone running back earlier because then I love some of these wide receivers here. So I'm going to go running back again. And a guy that I really like this year, and it's not just because he's on my dynasty squad. It's Antonio Gibson. Just kidding. It's Travis Etienne.
You had me for a second. Etienne over Hall. Okay. Gibson went after that in terms of running backs, to be clear. Not immediately after. Back around to you, sir.
Back around to me. I'm going to take a peek at wide receiver once again.
Hard, I would hope. Let's see. Since I'm the screen that people are looking at. Got Mike Williams at the top of their rankings. I know you don't like Amari.
I would rather have Amari Cooper over Mike Williams every day of the week, even with Jacoby Brissett.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I'm sorry, 5 games out of a season. I know. And good luck for.
You know what I don't hate? You know what I don't hate, Josh? Going within your next couple of picks. I'm eyeballing Cooks down there, which is what they're 6th available.
Yeah,
I like working Cooks into this top 2 wide receivers for you. I'll just put it that way. Maybe Cooper and Cooks, a lot of reliability, even though Jacoby Brissett.
I'm pivoting.
Pivot. I don't hate it. Leaning on tight end a little bit. You're hoping to get a good tight end earlier this year. Let's just put it that way. All right, back around to me. I've got 2 running backs, a receiver, and Mike Evans. And again, reminder, going quarterback early.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tight end off the board in round 5, which seems a little early, but I really like Dalton Schultz. I think there's a lot of potential there for him this year. And there's some guys there's wide receivers I'm eyeballing later on and with my next pick that are going to probably be there that I really like. So I'm just going to start hammering wide receiver after this. It is only 2 wide receivers, so
Speaking of wide receivers, I'm probably going receiver. I just took a quick glance at tight ends. I'm going to push it a little bit further. I do have 2 running backs. Is there a guy I really want at RB right here?
Honestly, for a guy who I said was very inconsistent, Mike Williams was perfect to go up to pair with Mike Evans. Have a couple of Mikes.
Reliability, consistency. Yeah, it is at the top of their list, so I'm considering it for sure. Yep. A little bit of variance. Not usually my guy.
Mike Williams, the one thing I don't
tempting, but I don't know.
He's not going to play in week 1.
Exactly.
I'm not confident he's playing week 1. Honestly, the better one would have been Brandon Cooks to pair with Mike Williams, but he's gone now. So
I was just gonna look at that.
and the guy that I wanted, that I was hoping to make back around,
with Mike Williams,
is gone.
Right? Yeah, I can't redo my Mike.
I was hoping that Adam Thielen was still going to be there. I figured he wasn't.
I read a nice little blurb about Thielen today, something along the lines of he looks like his old self. For whatever it's worth, fluff.
If he stays healthy, I think he's getting for a good season.
I am sitting with 2 RBs, 2 wide receivers, and of course, quarterback in this particular draft.
You're like, and you made me take a quarterback, so I have a quarterback.
Could you refresh my memory? Is this a half point PPR or PPR or what?
Full.
Full? Full. Bit of a reach, Chris. I bet you could get away with waiting. Ooh, I like this one. Yeah, get you guys. I'm on Ross St. Brown.
Son of a biscuit!
Yeah, I drafted behind you because I wanted to have a couple of those moments too where you took a guy from me, but also the other enjoyable part of it is me taking a guy from you. Mooney, yeah, he was in consideration. I thought you might do that after me.
I need a little more.
Josh has 3 running backs in Cook, Barkley, and Etienne. He took his quarterback early in the 3rd with Mahomes. Took a tight end, whatever, middle round, 5th round with Schultz. He just took Darnell Mooney's on the clock again.
My wide receiver 1. And
yeah, I mean, this is what mocks are for, folks. Put your toe in the water. Try it out.
There's a point to this. So I'm gonna go young, I guess, and I'm starting to take dart throws here because I kind of need to.
Understood.
And he's supposedly the wide receiver 1.
I love it. I'm not that I'm a huge Bateman guy, but at this point,
it's also
draft,
PPR, and he has
exactly.
He has PPR volume written all over
him. I couldn't agree more. Love it at this point in the draft. In this format. Quick recap of my team. Went running back. So got 2 really good ones in my opinion. Najee Harris and Aaron Jones. Went Mike Evans, as Josh put it, Mr. Reliability at your WR1. We're going quarterback early, so I took Burrow. Then Mike Williams, some volatility, of course. Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think more like a Mike Evans in terms of reliability, I hope. Full PPR.
2 reliable guys to buoy a very boom-bust guy.
Couldn't agree more.
But when he's
with you, dude, I love this lineup having gone quarterback early.
I don't like Justin Burrow, but that's fine.
You don't like who? For me?
Burrow. But that's it's your pick. So if you love it, that's fine. I don't, but that's my opinion.
I know you love the player. You must not like the situation this year.
I don't like it for fantasy. Anyways, keep going.
No, it's understood. That's important to mention. I'm just
57
saying,
seconds.
Given the depth I've got I found at receiver, I love that I went quarterback early there. I've really got to go RB here, though. This is the guy I wanted to go get last round and just couldn't justify it. Oh, I didn't get a annoying sound effect from taking Pollard.
I turn them off.
I know.
Okay.
I mean, they're not on the show, to be clear, so.
Yeah, still. There went Elijah Moore.
I probably should.
I was just and Alan Lazard too. Damn.
Right before me, Alan Lazard went back around to me. I have now.
So even then,
receivers. Go
even
ahead,
then, like right here, man, like you could. Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott is still sitting there. Like
I did look hard at Rodgers,
and you could have had Etienne, Breece Hall if you'd not taken quarterback.
What is Dak still doing? That's
Tom Brady over Dak, the guy who's not even playing right now.
Who, Brady? Oh, he went over? Yeah. Dak's going to do a little bit on the ground. Has, historically. Yeah, he got hurt.
I mean, he walks on the ground.
What I mean is probably good for 5 or 6 rushing touchdowns, but I wouldn't count on like
he's gonna bust out some breakdancing on the ground.
But I wouldn't count on like 600 or 700 rushing yards. I'm just saying he's almost a lock for half a dozen rushing touchdowns in the high volume offense that is supposed to be good. We'll see. I got a minute left. Again, 3 wide receivers, 3 RBs. No tight end to speak of yet. Let's take a glance at that. Feel like a couple names. Heck, given the show that we're talking about, I should probably wait on tight end. I'm going to punt tight end. You know, let's do that tonight. Or I'll do that. Already taken yours.
Yeah.
So I can't help but come back to RB because, you can't ever have too many of them. And I'm going to take Devin Singletary.
Okay. Don't hate it.
RB4 for a reminder at Folks Home. At
Yeah,
Folkston?
I
Or am at home folks?
really need another wide receiver, but I want someone that's going to be kind of that's really going to tie my wide receiver room together. I'm going to reach if I have to. I'm just not liking a lot of these names here, to be perfectly honest. A lot of them is just rookies or guys that are just they're the two. Here's a guy who is not 100% healthy yet, but could really help tie my wide receiver room together. I know you don't like the team very much, Chris, but he's been a very solid wide receiver for whatever team he plays on, whether it's the Bills, the Rams. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Bills and Rams? Oh,
Mhm.
I don't, apparently.
Robert Woods.
Of course, Bills first.
Oh, and Chase Edmonds went. Damn, I figured he wasn't making it back around, but I really like Chase Edmonds. There's a lot of positive stuff coming out of camp for him.
Tua's my only worry, but I mean, Tua can dump it off to an RB. Edmonds could be very valuable, especially, again, reminder, full PPR, folks.
And the 8th, too. That's value right there.
Yeah. And he's your RB 5. And you
On
got
that
Dylan as
4.
your
Yeah.
4?
4.
I'm sorry, I'm looking completely in the wrong area. Somebody else got the guy who took Edmonds. My apologies.
Yeah. Anyways, there's a running back here that I think is going to really kind of be talking about safety a lot in this mock draft. And I think this guy, like he's like the Mike Evans of running backs. He is the epitome of safety, and that is Melvin Gordon.
There was a quote I chose not to include in the news that was absolutely qualifies as fluff. To be clear, Gordon himself said the coaches want Javonte to be the guy. But
that's
again,
great.
We're in the 9th, and that was a fluff piece, or whatever you want to call it.
I saw it. I was like, okay.
Include it in that portion of the show for that exact reason. All right, so I feel like I got 4 RBs. A little bit of flexibility here. Let's glance at tight end again. Yeah, it's
not a lot.
It's getting a little slim, but I mean, my highest ranked guy on the show tonight, that is, was Tanyan, and oh, he's still there, folks. I do see a younger guy I like to take a stab at, but I can't help but come back to the other skill positions. Who, Fryermuth?
No, I was just saying you like him young, don't you?
Yeah. Wide receiver, you got Kurt, Claypool, Tony. RB, some depth. Oh, yep, that's a no-brainer.
I gotta say something about Kenny
Ramondre
Galladay.
Stevenson to round out 5 RB.
I thought about it. I thought about it, but
as soon as I saw him, yeah,
I was like,
that's a good thing for a mock. You went Gordon over Stevenson. That's key.
doing reliability.
I would assume so. Yeah.
A quick thing about Kenny Galladay. I have heard nothing good about him in training camp. Everyone says he's slow. His route running is terrible. His focus and concentration. It's like this guy played for his contract, got it, and just stopped caring whatsoever.
I'm a little worried about that. I
am 100% worried about it. And you know what? Here's the thing, though, is I could see Kenny G busting out and like after training camp, be like, I had a slow start to the year, but you know, once the season actually started, that's what really counts. And I care now.
Hey, speaking of, I've got a little over a minute, almost minute 20. Speaking of, smoke, is there fire, fluff pieces, rumors, training camp, preseason? How about this? I have 3 receivers. I'm probably almost definitely taking a receiver here. Go get your guy type of thing here, but also a little bit of hype going on, a lot of hype going on with this guy, George Pickens. Where are you at with him?
I don't care.
If I have too many Steelers or something, I have Najee. This is my 4th receiver. Taking Pickens. And I got
show me a quarterback that he has, and I'll start carrying.
Kenny Pickett.
Show me a quarterback to care about, and I'll start carrying.
Okay. It's the 10th round, so.
Okay.
You've
made your point, sir. You've made your point, sir.
In fact, I bet that rate rises in the next couple of weeks because he looks good.
Yeah, because my wide receiver room is so weak. let me put it this way. It's not a lot of sexy names. I'm going to go with
upside?
Kadarius Toney here.
I was just saying, go upside with Tony.
Yeah. And I'll probably hit wide receiver again on the backside here, too.
Probably should to probably finish up with receiver. Got to give you 5.
What wide receivers do we have left here? There's a guy that's sitting here that
Rondell Moore?
No.
No? Okay.
Excuse me. I can't ignore. I don't know why. It's like that girl, like you go to a party and there's like, it's a party. You're young.
Valdez Scantling, of course.
And there's hot ladies everywhere dancing around and everything, but there's always this one that's just kind of standing off to the side that's really catching your eye. That girl for me is Marquez Valdez Scantling.
Yeah, give me Sky Moore.
Maybe not the prettiest, maybe not the ugliest, but for whatever reason, you just can't put your finger on it. She has really caught your eye, and that is MVS for me.
Given I have 5 RBs and 4 wide receivers, I've really got to go tight end probably here. Although, again, I remind you, Onion's
what are we
still
in the
there.
11th round? What's left here?
I did say I was going to punt. I should probably just literally either the last pick or really close to it. Okay. I'm going to stick to my guns. Come back to the skill positions here, which I could use one more. Have 5.
It's pretty ugly.
And it's a tight end, and that's it.
Sleeper is like just blasting.
It's
I'm going
RB. I'm going RB. I'll manage 4 receivers, make moves during the season. I'm taking Damian Pierce here. Absolutely.
Nice.
I got Pierce and Stevenson as RB
I don't hate that at all.
Yeah, I bet you. Yeah, I'm not. Again,
I don't hate your team one bit. I would have gone better. I would have gone differently at quarterback and Pickens, but hey, man, it's your team.
Hey, put your higher round QB and your other, wide receiver for dart throw in there and move on. Yeah. So I gotta go. Fill out kicker and defense, I guess, and then there's tight end. So let's just so we're not dumb about it. Let's probably go tight end here. Tanyan is there, but Higby with the Rams, Smith with Vikings. I don't like Smith with the Vikings right now. I know he's healthy now, but we talked about Njoku in the show.
Oh, by the way, I looked it up. He is coming off an ACL injury.
Irv
Smith, that is.
I might just take kicker and defense now. You like to take kicker first.
Mm-hmm. Defense, I usually could care less about.
I'm going to be a bit of a homer and take the Cowboys defense. There's been a little bit of rumors they might get Roquan Smith. Whatever. It's a defense. Did I take any of the Cowboys? Pollard. Damn it.
It's they concede that like hundreds of thousands of yards.
Just because you hate Trayvon Diggs.
I don't think he's that great.
It's like his second or third year. And he was moved to and he was moved to the position in college? Yeah, definitely in college. Pros? No, college. Yeah, I think it was college.
Hope so in college.
Pretty sure it was college. No, but he was a receiver before that, like his brother. So he hadn't been playing position for terribly long, and he's obviously aggressive, but let's move on.
I need a wide receiver dart throw, so there it is.
Oh, I love it.
I'm a little weak at running back, but because I waited so long on wide receiver, I needed to do something. I love that pick,
especially for your team in this situation in that round. Gosh, you could even make the argument my Pickens pick earlier, 2 rounds
should have been Chark.
Yeah, 2 rounds. Hey, we've got some time for ADP to shake itself out, but that's 2 rounds difference, huh?
If you shake it too much, you're playing with it.
And then, of course, your love for MVS. Tony in the 10th.
See, I don't really have a lot of excuse for it.
Did you take Tony before Pickens, or did I take Pickens before Tony?
You took Pickens before Tony. Look at the arrows.
That was a mistake. Got it. Thank you. I did not notice that before. Yeah, that was probably a mistake. To give Tony some credit. Despite. All right, again, folks, take a glance at tight end. I mean, take a pick of guys we talked about tonight. I could take a defense now. Just to prove a point. I'm sorry, kicker. My apologies. Oh, Money McManus in Denver. Done. No, Money Mac is the guy in Cincinnati. My apologies. McManus is still very good in Denver, especially with the rarefied air. And expect a good offense. Now it's tight end time.
Ooh, who's it gonna be?
It's going to be in order that was listed. My guys versus your guys, etc. It's Fant, Njoku, Everett, Tanya, and after that, well, Hurst in between.
Wow. Okay.
Theoretically speaking, Everett is ranked from my three guys. Everett is ranked higher.
Overpick.
Yeah, that's why it was brown like doo-doo. No, that's because it's defense. All right. Let's recap.
I went first, so I'm going to go first. Dalvin Cook was my first round running back. He is currently my RB2 in my rankings. And I got him at the 5 hole, so it looked pretty good for me. Saquon is my number 2 running back, followed by, once again, we went quarterback early. So I took Patrick Mahomes because Josh Allen was already gone. I still love Patrick Mahomes a lot. Currently, he's in like the 5th round of my rankings because I don't do quarterback early. We're doing it this way for a reason. We won't talk about it this show. We kind of have already, but that's fine. Travis Etienne was my RB3 in the 4th round, followed by Dalton Schultz. I drafted in the 5th. And then I went more or less wide receiver, just boom, bing, bang, boom. Darnell Mooney, Rashad Bateman, Robert Woods to be that guy to tie the room together. I took Melvin Gordon as my safety running back. And then after that is Kadarius Toney, MVS, Marcus Valdez-Scantling, that is, and DJ Chark, and then kicker defense.
I love that receiver run for you. And actually Woods on top of that, a round before that, or 2 rounds before that. I just love, despite MVS, like, he's your guy. That's why I love it for you. He's not necessarily my guy, but the 3 in a row there, filling out your wide receiver depth chart, I love it, man. Love it. Tony
and Chark, I had
big plays all over the place behind a Bateman and a Woods that's more consistent. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had to go heavy on wide receiver because I didn't start taking him until the 6th round. So it was I went 0 wide receiver there for a little bit.
Dude, your running back should catch a ton of passes.
This is a full PPR mock draft.
Exactly. So first and foremost being Barkley, even though he was your 2nd round pick. Hook catches the ball. Play.
All right, what's your team, Chris?
So I went RB early, understanding we were going to go QB early, which, reminder, if you can't see there on the screen, I went around after Josh at quarterback. Let me continue. Najee Harris at the 1.6, Aaron Jones at the 2.7 for me. Love those running backs. Again, full PPR. Expect Jones to catch a ton of balls. Also Najee. Wide receiver Evans. Mike receiver. Yep, you heard it right, folks. No, Mike Evans, wide receiver, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the 3.6. We already talked about it. Tons of reliability there in a full PPR. Then the quarterback, Burrow. Mike Williams, obviously some volatility behind Evans at wide receiver. More reliability behind Williams at receiver with Amon-Ra St. Brown. I expect him to just get a ton of targets and catch a ton of balls.
Yeah, dude.
A running back as my 3rd running back that I believe will catch a lot of passes also. Tony Pollard. A little bit of a homer pick, but, it was Kenneth Walker, Harris with the Patriots ahead of me, Patterson with the Falcons. I did not feel good about any of those guys, so I reached a tad for Pollard. Followed that up with hopefully some reliability. That sounds ironic. Hopefully reliability. With Devin Singletary in Buffalo. Another running back. Hey, there was a little bit of a news piece about Ramondre Stevenson playing the James White role. Full PPR. My 3rd running back in a row there, but my RB5.
Watch it be Kevin Harris, and where everyone's wrong because Bill Belichick hates everyone.
Harris is more of a thumper in college.
I know. That's a fair point. You know what I'm saying. It's just a guy that you don't expect it to be.
Exactly. George Pickens, we already touched on that. I felt like I probably should have gone Kadarius Toney first, but love the upside with this kid. He's getting a ton of hype. This is what mocks are for. Followed that up with Dameon Pierce, potentially RB1 in Houston. A little bit of a homer pick with the Cowboys defense, mostly because I had already decided at that point I'm going to pick tight end last. So Cowboys defense. McManus kicker, and then Robert Tonyan, who we already talked about plenty tonight. No need to dwell on that. Real quick, though, before I finish up. Yes, you can make some argument about the Pollard pick, but generally, overall, I absolutely love my running backs. Mostly my bottom two in Pierce and Stevenson. I can't believe I got that value there. Kind of makes me want to go receiver early, depending where I'm at in my redrafts.
I almost think you should have went receiver instead of that Tony Pollard pick with Gabe Davis still sitting there.
Because
I
of
don't
the
know.
because of the depth that I ended up with at RE.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a Pollard believer. I don't want Pollard on my team. Like,
well, me and you have beat the Zeke drum a little bit this offseason. Let's be clear, both of us.
Yeah, I just feel like I'm gonna draft. If I draft Pollard, I'm gonna be stuck with like sand in my hands, and it's just gonna disappear, and I'm gonna be like, what was that? You know, it's just
we did touch on Edmonds a little bit. Could have waited on that. Could have gone Edmonds instead.
Yeah,
he was still there.
I don't know. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't.
Singletary was still there.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I don't hate your team.
I don't know. Clearly you don't. Yeah.
Except for obviously your
Two
tight
picks.
end
Pollard and you don't like
Burrow.
Tonyan? Not the love.
He's coming off a midseason ACL injury.
169 targets, and he already proved he's a red zone threat. Clearly.
He wasn't doing that before he got injured, though.
Hey, man. Post-hype breakout tight end. It's the new chic thing to do. When people do chic things. I don't know. And I don't mean like an Arabian or something. Chic, the French word. CHIC, right? Yeah, anyway.
Chic?
You want to do another one?
You mean at Sikh?
How you say it?
And that's Indian, not Arabian.
Yep, I'm ignorant, folks. Welcome to the show. So we're at an hour.
Is there a Sheik now? No,
hour and 9 minutes. What do you think? Done?
I gotta edit this little morsel of a tight end show.
Absolutely. Let's.
And I have to go to bed and
do real life things.
Yeah.
Responsibility things. I'm chuckling anyway. No, I think that's kosher. Let's move on. Let's close the show.
All right. We have been AFFB. I am Josh. You can follow me on Twitter at JoshAFFB. Pretty easy Twitter handle to remember if I do say so myself. You can follow Chris at
AFFB Chris.
Yeah.
Basically the opposite of what he just did.
Yeah, exactly. Because he couldn't remember what mine was. So he didn't look it up. He just said,
it wasn't
screw it.
I don't think it was available. I think I tried.
Anyways. So we've been AFFB. I'm getting tired, Chris. Let's call it a night. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Or enjoying the video. So
till next time. Hold.